And welcome back, everyone. Oh my god. Welcome back. I was not quite expecting this. We are just diving right into our next game here. Ooh, into Dark versus Clem. As I do try to quickly set this up. And try to quickly make sure everything is working correctly. Oh, there we go. Oh, good. I can remove this. I can remove this. I can add this instead. Beautiful. Okay, so welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Cao Shuai Cup. If you're wondering what this is Korea versus the world. It's an event that we have been casting and covering over the past couple of weeks. Over the past 3 weeks, actually. And we are down to only a handful of players. We've been featuring several. Big names have fallen in this tournament. Serral has fallen. MaxPax has fallen. And so many others as well. Serral, MaxPax, Solar, Cure, Oliveira just went down to Dark. And now it comes down to Dark versus Clem in a best of 5. Let's go. Game 1 is upon us. And for some context here, I believe Dark is the last player. No, we still have Hero. I think we still have Hero as well. Yeah, it's a best of 9 format. First to 5 wins. And we still have Hero in the backline. I believe the world. This is the last player. The world, they've burned through Serral, Estrella, MaxPax, Oliveira. Clem is the last player. Clem, he has to bring down Dark and Hero afterwards. And here we go. We are just jumping on in. And in the bottom right, of course, we have Dark. In the top left, we have Clem. So far, we have some pretty standard openers. It is going to be a Hatch Gas Pool opener here out of Dark. Likewise, we have Clem going for a Rax Expand as well. And sorry, just gathering my bearings, making sure everything is working as it should. Making sure everything is looking good here for our players. Where are we? WTL. Everlay brackets. Yeah, we're good. And we have player cams as well. Let's go. We have player cams. Beautiful, beautiful. I just have to quickly set us up on TL. And again, thankfully, we're not really missing too much here in the early game. Just some standard openers. We're pointing out that Dark did pull out of gas, but that is standard at this level of play. We do pull out of gas, and we are as efficient as possible. Dark maintains control of his side of the map. We do see a second oh no! I was like, everything was normal. Jadolf, are you still here? Mate, he is the mech god himself, and likewise, Clem is playing mech, because of course he is. We have a second factory on the way. We should be working towards Hellions and Cyclones. For those wondering, for those who are maybe unfamiliar, Clem does very frequently play mech. I would want to say that he mixes it in maybe once in a best of 5. Which I guess isn't, it's not like he's always playing mech, but again, once in a best of 5 is still quite frequent, and there it is, there's that second factory, and we should be working for an add-on swap and working towards, I believe, the Cyclone upgrade. We'll see if we go for the Cyclone upgrade, or if we go for Blue Flame instead. And there it is. It is Hurricane Thrusters on the way. That is Cyclone speed, and Cyclone production is commencing here for Clem. Meanwhile, Dark hasn't quite scouted this. Now, it is a 3C opener, which means that Clem is not all in by any means. He's going to be looking to expand, take a third base behind this. Work towards this as well. Oh, I do apologize. I do have to pay out the predictions. Oh. Predictions were in favor of Bjorn. Shinarok, maybe. Let's go. And yeah, we're just making 3 Cyclones at a time. We're just amassing Cyclones at this point. And obviously there is value here. I do appreciate that Clem, he isn't going Mass Cyclone, he's going Cyclone Hellion. The reason why I say this is because Cyclones actually struggle a lot against Lings. Lings, they close the distance and they just completely shut them down. So the Hellions do quite well supporting them and, you know, having something to protect them against Mass Link here instead. As the Cyclones have yet to reveal themselves. Dark's still not fully aware as to what's going on. I think he's still just focusing on Link Queen production. If I missed it, I apologize, but I don't think he did throw down any Roach Warren. Otherwise, we would be seeing some commitment into Roaches here as well. Oh, Dark, underprepared. He does not really have much of a standing army. He's droning. He's got Baling Nest, Baling Speed now on the way. And I'm waiting for the moment. There we go, where the Cyclones do reveal themselves. They're catching Dark a bit off guard. Overlord is going to go down, and now we can go straight for the Queens. Lings, they cannot engage, not against all these Hellions. Queens are doing what they can, and there are no SCVs to repair. We are running out of energy for Transfuse, and Queens are going down. So are Cyclones, though. But these are expensive losses. And it looks like we're snowballing out of control. Every single Queen's going to go down. Good kiting here out on the map. And the final Queen will fall. Now behind this, we are reinforcing with 16 Lings. So I do think we have enough to surround this army, but you can see that Clem, he's not being overly adventurous. He is dipping in, clearing up creep, and backing off. He's content with all the Queens he killed. And that is enough to set him ahead, or to make this worth it, make it pay for itself. Here we go. Do you see Clem rotating around? Dark just building up his forces. He did throw down a Roach Horn. Now he has Roach Speed on the way, so it's going to be Ling Roach for the time being. Another Overlord does fall. Yeah, Dark, you can see he wants to try to catch this army on creep, but he just can't. He's committing. Uh-oh. He is going to attempt to commit. He does take down another Cyclone. The Bailing's not quite connecting, but he does trade well nonetheless. But here come even more Hellions. That was an overextension from Dark. Did not trade well enough. I'm sure Clem probably wants to go back home to repair. His army is very fragile. Very low, very deep in the red, and yeah, he will race back home. And this will give Dark some breathing room to be able to rebuild his economy. He's still not at 3 base saturation. He's still at 56. So he's still working on his droning, on his bases, still on 3 bases. I would say that Clem's in a really good position, actually. And behind this, he's transitioning into bio. Let's go. We have a little bit of everything. We have 1-1 on the way. We also have vehicle weapons on the way as well. But he is hard switching into Marine Tank. Stim is done. Combat Shields as well. More of like a hybrid style of mech bio here from Clem. I love it. I appreciate it. I love the Reddit post from the guy that said Hurricane Thrusters is a bad name for upgrades because Cyclones don't have rocket propulsion. I think it's a bad name because I think it sounds silly. I think I don't know. In my brain, like Hurricane Thrusters, like it sounds like an anime finishing move, you know? Like it doesn't sound real. Or it doesn't, I should say, it doesn't sound grounded in the reality of StarCraft, or in the fantasy of StarCraft, in the world of StarCraft. But here we go. Do have Marines coming in on the right-hand side. Maybe a bit of a surprise here. Too Dark. Not really expecting that bio army. Does have a couple of infestors, thankfully. Does have Fungals available. Does have them available, but not able to really gain too much ground. Not able to find those connections either. Hold on. Yeah, I did notice that the volume was a little bit low. Meanwhile, Hellions going to be rotating over towards the left. Going to be cleaning up a lot of these. Oh my god, a lot of these drones actually. 6 of them, 7 get roasted. Good use of these Hellions. Over time, they do run out of value. They do get outscaled as the game goes on, especially because we're going into bio, not mech. 2-2 on the way. Additional Raxes. Dark is stabilizing, but his upgrades are lacking here. Baling Nest is... Oh, sorry, we had a second Baling Nest on the way for some reason. Baling Speed now done. Hive on the way for Vipers. But here comes Clem. Again, he did so much damage early on, killing so many Queens. Following that, he killed so many workers. He contained Dark, and now Clem, he's just getting out of hand. Denying another base, containing Dark to 3 bases perpetually. Dark really struggling to keep up. Really struggling to max out. Oh, as he supply blocked. A big supply block for Dark. He has a bank, but he can't spend it. Thankfully, Clem backs off. Clem is max. Clem is up 40 supply. He could A move, but he's not fully aware of that. And he allows Dark to break free from his supply block. And Dark is now remaxing. And still working on +1 carapace. Whereas Clem starts 3-3. Oh boy. Vipers are on the way. The Vipers will help Dark. It will help him. We have a lot of Bard Bailings. Jesus. It's a lot of Bard Bailings on the left-hand side. But here come the tanks. And do we have an answer for, what is this, 8 tanks? Jesus. 9 tanks. Almost 10. Yeah, Clem has maxed out. He's pushing towards the space. This hatchery will fall once again. As we mentioned before, Dark cannot hold on to a 4th. He's been denied over and over again at this point. Can never get more than 3 bases up and running. This is impacting his bank. Does have an army, but that's a lot of roaches. That's a mainly roach army. It is inflated supply. And as the tanks leapfrog forward, I don't see Dark pushing into this, not without an insane amount of Blinding Clouds. Blinding Clouds have potential. Do have potential, but is it going to be enough? And here we go. Vipers come in. Oh my god, the Bailings, they do connect. Blinding Clouds, they cover almost every single tank. And Dark will clean this up. The Miracle Blinding Clouds were real. Covering every tank. Dark takes an insane fight. 7 tanks go down. Dark not even losing any of his roaches. And suddenly, Dark, he's okay. He's able to get a 4th. 5th base is on the way as well. Dark re-establishing his side of the map. As he does go for... Again, he's trying to establish this base here towards the left. Clem doing everything he can to try to force Dark to turn around, but Dark does not. He commits. He's pushing on forward. How many tanks do we have on the high ground? We have 1 tank siege. The others are a little bit late to the party. The Vipers come in. The Blinding Clouds get thrown down once again. And does Dark have enough? It looks like he barely doesn't. Oh my god, there's another layer of tanks behind this. No, a little bit of mispathing. The Road Ravager goes down. 25 drones as well. Oh my god, 26. This one Liberator going ham, getting 15 drones on its own. In the middle of that attack, Clem did counterattack, and he is now looking strong. Once again, he's far ahead in the economy. He's ahead in army. Dark, he had come back. He'd done an amazing job coming back here after being contained to 3 bases for so long. But alas, that was only for a moment, because the counter harass here from Clem is just becoming too much, and Dark cannot keep up. Not anymore. We can see there 29 drones going down. And from here, Clem is snowballing out of control. Clem is remaxed. Dark, he needs time. He needs time to rebuild. And alas, time is on the opposing team. Time is representing the world, not Korea. And as a result, yeah, it is going to spell the end here for Dark. He's going to try to hold on with what little he has. He still has a lot of potential with these Vipers. We've seen him pull off miracles before. Can he pull off 2 miracles in 1 game? that becomes the next question. Full Medevac is going to go down. As a reminder, this is a best of 5. As a reminder, the Worlds are down to 1 player. The World, they are down to Clem. Meanwhile, Team Korea still have Dark and Hero. They still got plenty of players behind this. Spire is thrown down. And we're in for a long one. Dark is stabilizing, by the way. He's redroning. Clem has been maxed for a while, and he didn't move out. He has given Dark time. He's defected. He's defected to the opposing team as... Oh, God. Bailey's having a hard time engaging, and Clem is going to lay siege on this hatchery once again. Dark cannot hold on to it. I still think that Clem, he's been playing very passive here. We can see we have a wall of CCs on the way, turrets, sensor towers. Clem is turtling, and he has allowed Dark to actually get back into this. Is he going to regret that, though? Here we go. We have Dark pushing in once again with his Ling Bane. Trading out quite a lot of those Banelings, though. Not an efficient trade for Dark. Yeah, the positioning of the concave was just too good, too in favor of Clem. And now he's pushing out through the center of the map. Big EMPs! That is the last of the blinding clouds. And GG gets called. It's just too much. Dark runs out of steam. And Clem will take game number 1. GG, well played. Game 1 here in the books for the world. I also need to set up the title as well, actually. Come and gone. Cyril was eliminated. Max Pax as well. But before we get into that, we get into this. In the top right-hand corner for Team Korea, we have Dark. And in the bottom left-hand corner for the world, we have Clem. In the world, they are up against the wall right now. They are down to a single player. Clem is all the world has left. Cyril has fallen. Max Pax, Estrella, Oliveira. They all did their best. They all fought back. They took maps. They took games. They took series. But against Korea, they could only do so much. Only so much. And now, it all lies. The face of the world lies in the hands of Clem. It is in his hands. Meanwhile, Korea, they have a little bit more leeway available. They've got a little bit more leeway here. I mentioned before, they've got Dark, their champion, the current champion here for Korea. And if Dark falls, they still have Hero in the back pocket. Who else has fallen for Team Korea? Cure, Solar, and Maru. Cure, Solar, and Maru, they did all rise and fall here in this tournament. Again, the VODs are available on Twitch. We have been casting. Again, it's been an event that's been running for a couple of weeks now. Here we go. So far, Hatch, Gas Pool from Dark, standard opener. Likewise, Clem going for a Rax into CC. Not a CC first, not as greedy as we've seen before, thankfully. Yeah, from here it's just going to be pretty standard openers overall. We saw Clem dabble in the mech, and hey, it led into a win. You know, we saw really early on Clem, he gained a lot of momentum, he gained a lot of really big foothold in that map with his Cyclone Hellion push, killing 7 queens, resetting the queen count, trading well against the Lings, giving him map control, snowballing out of control eventually with that map control, denying base after base after base, giving Clem a very solid lead as, oh my god, he's going straight for a 3rd CC. Before the first is even done. 3rd CC's on the way. So very economic opener here out of Clem, as opposed to the more aggressive opener he had in the last game, where he went double factory. Catching up. Okay, we're good. Was just catching up. And yeah, from here we have our actually we have a second Rex. Okay, so this is going to be a 3cc 2-1-1. A 3cc 2-1-1 variation out of Clem. Lings, they do flood into the natural base, though they catch him off guard, and one SCV goes down. Only one, though. Oh, so we get the Reaper as well. And the Lings did not make it into the main. They did not scout the transition here from Clem, but it is going to be a 3cc 2-1-1. What this means is that right now, Dark has a lot of room to drone. He has a lot of time to himself where he can drone for the next minute or so, or even a little bit longer, as Clem shouldn't be pushing out with his bio army until he gets medevacs out. And the medevacs are delayed because of the timing of that third CC, as opposed to a regular 2-on-1 without the third. So the starport has been delayed, and by the time we get those two medevacs out, and by the time the Marines push with Stim, Dark should have enough to defend. He should also have 3-base saturation by then as well. As Dark is just droning heavily, not overreacting. We have a lair on the way at 4 minutes 30. Very standard lair timing. This does mean that Dark isn't going to be rushing into upgrades, into Evo chambers. He will eventually, but first we're going to be getting the lair, which will lead into a Baleen Nest, which will lead into Bathing Speed. There it is. Bathing Speed is on the way. Oh, sorry. Baleen Nest is on the way. That'll lead into faster Bane Speed. And then eventually 1-1. So a very Ling Bane heavy composition here. We're not rushing into, like, I don't know, Mutas or Hydras or Roaches. Straight up Ling Bane. And this is something that we've seen a lot of here on Hecate. This map, Hecate, it is much more macro-oriented compared to, like, I don't know, Oceanborn or Golden Aura or Hard Lead. Seen a lot more 4-base play, even 5-base play here on this map, as the Evo chambers have been thrown down. So again, just really standard stuff out of Dark. Meanwhile, from the side of Clem, he should now be moving out with his double drop. Third base is on the way, and he's throwing down, another 3 Raxes behind this, getting into his 5 Rax setup, which is standard on 3 bases. And here we go at what, the 5-minute 30 mark. The double drop is moving out from Clem. This is designed to hunt down overlords, to deny creep, to potentially deny a base as well, but it shouldn't really be able to pull that off. Dark should be getting in position, as the hatchery is looking exposed, but the queens are not too far behind. We do focus on the base. Here we go. The dance does begin between the Lings, the queens, and the Marines, and it looks like they will get a cancel on the hatchery. Very nicely done here by Clem. The creep just was not ideal, and Dark was not in position. Barely could not save that hatchery. So a good start for Clem. Again, even though he may not be able to threaten the mineral lines, he can threaten the creep and these edge bases. And keeping Dark on 3 bases like this is already a very strong start for the Terran. Dark may have to double expand from this point, and there it is. We have the 4th on the way, as well as a macro hatch as well, to keep up with the production. Likewise, Hydra 10 thrown down here from Dark, so it's going to be Ling Bane Hydra. Very standard composition. Behind the second factory, armory for 2-2. Tanks are on the way. Additional gases as well. This should not be a 3-base all-in out of Clem. It should be working towards a 4th momentarily. The target. Oh my god. The target firing from Clem. Focusing down so many of those banelings. At the same time, here comes another double drop on the right-hand side, pulling Dark apart. It looks like we dive on top of the base again and forcing another cancel. Dark having a hard time keeping up with the speed of Clem. Yeah, this tempo is just a bit much. Hatchery's taking a lot of hits. So is the one here on the left-hand side. Once again, good target firing on the banelings. As Clem is being forced back, but he did cancel that 5th. At least Dark holds onto the 4th for now. Meanwhile, behind this, because we saw the gases being taken, because we saw the factory as well, we know that the 4th is on the way, and there it is. Clem, he starts working on his 4th CC. Drilling claws, 2-2. He's working on that next step. Marine's going to be threatening that natural base, but Dark is in position. We'll force him back. Clem does rotate over towards the left-hand side, this time with his entire army. We got tanks, we got Hellbats, we got a couple of Winter Mines as well. The army has been spotted. Does Dark have enough? He's out of position. A lot of his forces are racing from the right-hand side over towards the left, and this hatchery is going to fall. And once again, Dark cannot get a 4th base. He's being starved out. This is the same story that we saw in Hard Lead. No 4th. Not at all. Despite the creep in the center of the map, there's very little creep towards the edges. Dark is just stuck on 3 bases, and Clem is maxed. Clem is maxed out at this point. Clem is skyrocketing ahead. And what can Dark do here? He's trying desperately to get a 4th base. He's trying desperately to double expand. But Clem is there at every turn. From the beginning, it all started with the first cancel. Remember, it was at 5 minutes 40 when the first 4th base was canceled. And ever since then, ever since 5 minutes 40, Dark has not been able to take a 4th. Once again, another cancel, and Dark is maxing, but he doesn't have a bank behind this. He doesn't have a lot of larva behind this either. If this goes on any longer, then we may see a tap out. Here we go. Here comes the main army of Clem on the right-hand side, pushing onto creep, pushing into these bases. We do have some Link Main behind this. We do have Hydras as well. Oh my god, but look at the spread. Look at the mines! Mine's going to be going off. The Link Bane crashes into the tanks, but we have so many Marines behind this, and it's just too much, and too little too late for Dark. As he cannot hold on to these bases, Clem has snowballed out of control. GG gets called, and Clem takes games in his Lings. We would have seen a very different game. We would have established that hatchery, creep would have been spread from that point, and we would have seen more of a back and forth. But from very early on, Clem, he gained to win the entire Team League match. He is so close. So close yet so far. We're diving into this. In the bottom right hand corner, we have for Team Korea, Dark. And spawning in the top left, we have for the world, it is Clem. I wanted to do the trumpet for both players, but I only had enough time for one. Snake. But here we go. We're getting into game number 3. Dark, can he bring it back here and now? Can he pull this off? We do find ourselves here in our next game, and it is going to be another 2 racks opener out of Clem. Going to be 2 racks on the low ground. Meanwhile, Dark going for a hatch gas pool. Standard opener out of our Zerg player. We have a relatively standard opener out of Clem as well. In current era, we've seen quite a lot of this. Again, 2 racks on the low ground. The Bjorn opener, if you will, is designed to get control early on and delay the 3rd base. Mate, we were talking about Dark not establishing a 4th previously. Mate, what about the 3rd? We'll see. We'll see if we can get that 3rd base up, as Reapers are going to be moving out. And again, it's going to be on Dark to establish that base. And make sure he doesn't get delayed for too much longer. So we have those Reapers in production. Those wondering, so typically the Terran player makes 3 Reapers with this. We have a wave of 2 and then 1 Reaper. And the goal here is to contain the Zerg on 2 bases. If Dark tries to sneak out a 3rd, if he tries to commit to taking a 3rd base, then Clem can actually make a 4th and 5th Reaper, so commit to Reaper production to make sure he securely cancels the 3rd and does contain Dark. Otherwise, we get into add-ons. Otherwise, we get into a Reactor and Tech Lab with only 3 Reapers. So far, so good. So far, Dark is stuck here on these 2 bases. We have Queens on the way. Link speed is being prioritized. Dark, after scouting with his Overlord, he knows that, again, he does have to commit to Link speed. He does have to commit to gas. And he is stuck on 2 bases. And Clem knows that, which means now back at home he can start working on his add-ons. Clem, he just checked both third base locations. He sees that there is no hatchery, and he can happily transition from here. Meanwhile, Dark is working on his next wave of queens. Oh, he does barely take down one of those Reapers. Very nicely done. One Reaper does go down. Back at home with Clem actually going straight into a third TC. So it is going to be a 3cc 2-on-1 variation from Clem. We have seen Bjorn, for example, be very fond of 4 racks follow-ups or 3 racks follow-ups. But this is just 3cc 2-on-1. Same opener that Clem went for in game 1. We're just getting there in a different way. We are getting there in a different ways. Reapers, they race back home. Diving into the main. They barely do escape the clutches of those Lings. And interesting, no tech lab. A very delayed tech lab actually on the racks on the high ground actually. So this is a different variation from Clem. Usually we don't have an adult top like this. We're getting into Cyclones. Okay. A very unique, more modern variation of 2-on-1 here. So usually we would have had both Raxes here at the natural, and we would have seen a reactor into Tech Lab into faster stim. Here, Clem, he opted to delay stim in favor of Cyclones. Very interesting. So Cyclones are on the way. We're not going to be amassing them, but they are enough for map control, hunting down overlords, picking off queens if possible. Just maintaining map control. A really interesting variation here from Clem. Here we go. Cyclones are moving out to reinforce. We have Sim on the way. We have an armory as well. Oh my, okay, this is crazy. So Clem isn't all in because he has a third TC, but he has an armory on the way for Hellbats. So he's going to be going for a 2-on-1 timing here with less Marines, but with Cyclone and Hellbat to support the Marines instead. So very curious. This is very unexpected as well. The Cyclones do already reveal themselves, but Dark should be aware that a stim timing is coming. He should be aware, but what he isn't aware of is the armory, is the Hellbats. So this is wild. This is crazy. And here we go. Clem coming on in. Again, he has less than 16 Marines. Usually we would have 2 full medevacs with this push, but we have less because of the Cyclones, because of the armory. And here we go. The push is upon us. The queens are coming together. We have Ling Queen to defend. No roaches, no bailings. But we have a good concave. Here we go, the Marines, they do stim on forward. The Lings are going to get completely shut down. Good juggling here from Clem. He gets on top of the Queens. 3 of them will fall instantly. And we have more than enough to keep on pushing. Yeah, we're getting on top of what little Queens are left. Can Dark hold the transfuses a clutch? Very clutch transfuses. He's barely forcing this back, but he lost 9 drones in the process. That was well worth it for Clem. Again, if the transfuses were any worse, then Dark would have died. 100%. Dark would have lost every single queen if he had missed 1, maybe 2 of those transfuses. He hit 9 transfuses in that fight. But Clem is forced back. Dark survives, but he did lose a lot of workers. As a result, Clem is ahead. Clem is ahead economically. He has a better worker count. He has 3 bases fully operational, I should say. Dark is working on a 4th. He's got some macro hatches up and running. Clem going to be rotating around to deny that 4th base. Thankfully, Dark is in position here. He's ready for a fight at that 4th. He has Bailings ready. Good target firing. Oh my god. Oh, as Clem does take a Bailing to the face. Did lose a big chunk of Marines there. Not quite worth it. We had some fancy target firing, but Clem gets cleaned up. Again, just being a little bit too fancy there. Good target firing towards the end, but there it is. 16 Marines went down. Ooh. was just a little bit too adventurous there. As Clem is going to be backing off. Again, transitioning into a more bio-heavy composition, bio-tank. 1-1 about to kick in. 4th CC on the way for Clem as well. Meanwhile, Dark working, still committed to Ling Bane. We have a Hive that's about to finish up. Burrow on the way from Dark. Do appreciate it. There's a lot of potential here for Burrow. Clem. Thankfully, that's a cancel, not a kill on that 5th base. But at least Dark has a 4th. This is something that Dark failed to accomplish in that last game. Remember, he was stuck on 3 bases the entirety of game 2. But now he's got a 4th. Suddenly, Dark, he has a better fighting chance. He has an economy to take up into Hive. We have an Ultra Cavern on the way. Adrenal Glands, soon to be 3-3. Dark is fighting back. Do have a drop coming in towards that 3rd. Dark able to keep up. So far, he's keeping up with at least 1 double drop, and he does have an army towards the south as well. Yeah, this time, Dark, he's keeping up with the tempo of Clem. Clem, he's set a pace, and Dark is meeting him. Clem has max, though. Bear that in mind. Clem is maxed out at this point, and oh, Dark heavily supply blocked. 4 overlords on the way. The Banelings, they do connect. Clem slipping up a little bit in the control. Oh my god. As the powerbomb's coming in clutch here, they shut down those men. Clem a little bit distraught by what just happened. Did we really need a zoom on that? Production. That was the first time we've zoomed in on a player cam like that. Este production. Ay, ay, ay. But here we go. Clem, he may have lost the double drop, but he is committing to his push. He still has quite a hefty Marine tank army. But 3-3 is on the way. Kindness plating as well for those Ultras. Here we go. Dark, he's going to be committing. Clem not quite ready here for the attack. Tanks are going down. He's spread too thin. As we even come in from behind. And Dark should be able to stall up all these tanks. Yeah, the tanks are going down one after the other. And Dark is instantly remaxing behind this. This time with Ultras. Again, this is a Dark that gets up to 4 bases. This is a Dark with a solid economy, with a solid production. This is something that Dark was struggling, not just in the last game, but in game 1 as well, if you remember. Like, Dark was on hard lead. Dark was just constantly being denied the 4th over and over and over again in game 1 and game 2. But here, finally, he can actually spread his wings and play some StarCraft. He can finally just have proper production and have an economy and sustain himself, and yeah, he can take these fights. He can take these trades. Dark he's taking his entire half of the map, and he's ready for wave 2. And Clem isn't. Clem not quite ready for this. He's going for a double drop though. He's gonna catch a queen, but Dark, he doesn't care. He pushes in anyway. Breaking on through. Bailey's ahead for the mineral lines. The Ling Bane deals with everything else. Planetary falls. The Ultras are overextending a little bit. They are expensive losses. Those Ultras are going to be going down at the same time, though. The double drop across the map killed the hatchery. And is heading towards another. But the Lings, they wreak havoc in the 3rd base. 33, 34 SCVs go down. This is just game-ending damage. GG gets called, and Dark fights back. He does put a point on the board. Clem, but overpower and overcome Clem, and this also goes to show how important maps are. Side Delta is a lot more spread out, and there aren't as many quote-unquote abusable or As spawning in the top right hand corner for Team Korea, it is Dark. And in the bottom left, we have for the world, it is Clem. Here we go. Depots are being thrown down. Who did Dark play against yesterday? Wait, did Dark play against Clem yesterday? that happened? Or maybe in the Wardy. I think, did he play against Clem in the Wardy tournament? Potentially. Here we go. Once again, Dark going to be going for a Hatch Gas full opener, standard opener here out of Dark. Clem going to be going for a low ground Rex. Looks like it's not quite the 2 Rex variation though that we have been seeing from him. See in chat, so it isn't him controlling the camera. Oh yeah, for those wondering, we are casting from the clean feed, so we are not handling production for typically for WTL. We do have SC Boy, aka the Chinese organizers. They handle the production, which means they're observing, and they're also handling the cameras and all that good stuff. We are merely casters. We are merely casters for this event. And for World Team League as well. Just so those that were curious. So I wasn't the one that zoomed in on Clem's face. that wasn't me, Papi. That wasn't me. I'm innocent, Papi. I'm innocent. As from here, as we mentioned before, this was not a 2 Rex opener. It was a Rex on low ground into factory instead. This is the special opener. We get the same benefits of having a wall on the low grounds, but we have a 1-1-1 setup instead. For Hellion production, I mean, it's Clem, so we could go into Cyclones again. It is possible. Here we go. The Reaper does get across the map. He's going to be dancing with these Lings. Dark able to squeeze out his third base. He should be able to drone from here. Get into that 3 base economy. I want to meet Dark's little Jonathan. You're an animal. You're an animal. Tie me up, Poppy. Tie me up. And hey, I was kind of joking about it, but no, yeah, it is going to be Cyclones. It is going to be a Cyclone opener here from Clem. For those wondering, Cure has been very fond of this opener as well. We aren't going mass Cyclone. Watch me eat my words in a couple of seconds when he keeps making them. But typically, this is only for a handful of Cyclones. This is to hunt down Overlords. This is for map control. We're not amassing them to push in and to try to kill our opponent. There is a third CC behind this for Clem. It is just an opener, just for map control, just to maintain and contain the Zerg. As we're getting to a 3cc 2-1-1 behind it. Reaper is going to be hunted down. Ooh, and as we're getting into our openers, Dark actually throws down a Roach Warren. Sorry, I just sneezed. Oh. Aye. Oh, right. Yeah, it was in the Woody tournament. The semifinals. Thanks for letting us know. But yeah, we do have a Roach Warren on the way. And Dark is actually going to be cutting some workers here as well. Sorry, that's easy. Yeah. We're good, Matthew. I was just sneezing. I don't feel sick. I'm just sneezing, Copium. As we are just going to be going for a big all-in. Dark, he's cutting workers here at 39. He is not saturating his third base whatsoever. He's making Lings and Roaches, and he's looking to push out across the map. He's Still going to push out across the map. This has been spotted now by Clem, but I feel like this is going to be quite a late scout here. Bunker is on the way, but is this too little too late? Clem getting ready back at home. He has to be very careful to be caught out on the map. He cannot get surrounded. Not like this. Not now. As he does pull back here to the safety of his wall. Still on the other side of it. Roach Ravager pushing forward. More Lings are on the way. Again, Dark is committed. He is supply blocked. He's been getting supply blocked a lot recently, not gonna lie. There have been a lot of blocks here from Dark, and hopefully he does break free from it. He does deny combat shields, but Stim is done. And the wall taking a lot of hits. Oof. Deeper falling. As we bust through the wall, we have Lings coming in behind this. Now we don't actually have eyes on the production tab, so I don't know if he's droning or if he's reinforcing. But here we go. Clemmy dives on the Roach Ravager, but the Link's coming to support, to punish even. As we barely don't surround the Marines, they're able to slip on out of there. Dark still has not saturated his third, but I think he backs off, and I think he may be droning. Yep, 10 drones on the way. This is a rough moment for Dark. So he was committed, he was all in, he fails to break the natural, and now Dark, he is very slowly droning and saturating his third. This was never the initial plan. We don't even have a lair! Oh my god, we're taking our lair, we're taking our gases, Evo chambers are on the way. Dark, he was not set up for the mid game at all, and as a result, he is behind. He is falling behind. And Clem, he is taking his own third. We can see here that Clem also wasn't really spending his money, so he just throws down a wall of Raxes because we need to spend our resources. Our observer feels the need to really emphasize that, but it's okay. It happens. It happens. As he's getting into the rest of his production, he's getting ready into the rest of, getting into the rest of his Raxes. And Clem has a lot of breathing room because of Dark's. God, why are we putting so much emphasis on this? What the hell? As Dark is getting into his 1-1, getting into the rest of his tech, getting into his droning, because of all of this, like, he's giving Clem a lot of breathing room to just do whatever he wants at this point to eventually get it. To eventually get into the rest of his add-ons, which is maybe why we're focusing on this, to get into additional tech labs and reactors and be a little bit more efficient overall. As Dark is working towards not just Roach Ravager, I'm loving the infestation bit and the Hydrogen. To me, this screams that Dark wants to get into lurkers. Dark, he knows he's behind. Dark, he knows he's in a really rough position. And usually when that happens, Lunkers are the answer. We have a couple of infestors on the way there to help survive long enough to get into Hive Tech and get into Lurkers. There it is, Lurker Den is on the way, and the Hive as well. We have seen this plenty of times from Dark. Whenever he falls behind, his way to stabilize, his way to kind of stop the bleeding and to catch up is Lurkers. That's how he comes back in these games. But can he survive long enough? And again, he is giving his opponent a lot of room to themselves here while he works towards that Lurker Den. And here we go. The army pushes in the right-hand side. This hatchery is going to go down. The 5th is denied. Did see Clem out of position. Sorry, Dark out of position. Going to try to go for those fungals. Doesn't quite connect with the main army. Dark at least has the linear 4th base. Oh, the fungals! Massive fungal, but the Biles, they miss. The Biles do not connect. As Link's coming from behind, it looks like the tanks are being caught out. A massive pickoff here for Dark. He gets 4 tanks for only Lings. Suddenly losing that 5th base was worth it for Dark as he resets the tank count. There it is, 4 tanks and 18 Marines. But Clem, he has eyes on that Risk Vesting Gas Geyser. He has eyes on the 4th. He wants to try to deny it if possible. Meanwhile, the Hive is done. Vipers are on the way. Hydra Lurker Viper is where we want to be, is where Dark wants to be, and he's almost there. We have Lurker upgrades, Hydra's on the way, Vipers as well, but he still needs more time. Oh, and that was not the best trade for Dark. He loses so many Lings, and he will lose this 4th base. And we've been here before. This is how Clem won Game 1 and Game 2, and it's just to deny the 4th base over and over again. And Dark, he is stuck on a 3-base economy. This does not bode well There are lurkers in production. They are on the way. But what use is lurkers if we don't have a good enough economy behind it to sustain ourselves? As Dark is attempting to take another 4th base on the right-hand side. Adaptive Talents on the way. Ghost Academy just now starts. This is a late Ghost Academy for Clem. He was hyper-fixated here on just killing his opponent then and there. As a result, these lurkers, they should be able to buy Dark some time, and we can see Clem knows that, so he's already walling up. We have planetaries, sensor towers, more tank production. So we're able to avoid the clutches of that Infestor and the fungal growth. Clem rotating towards the right. I don't think there are any lurkers in position yet, but they are rotating over as well. Dark is able to keep up somewhat. The space, though, looking very exposed. Lurkers do reveal themselves. That's a lot of lunkers, Papi. Here come the Vipers. Tanks will be yoinked in. At the same time, though, Clem, he dives on the 5th, and yeah, we're going to see a cancel in this base. Dark is spread a little bit too thin. Oh, show us the fungal. Oof. Shaving off submarines. So at least Dark, he's able to reestablish his 4th. But the Ravagers get caught. No lurkers here in position. And a big catch on the Ravagers. Decent fungal though, able to punish. Able to somewhat punish this army. At the same time, Darky goes for a massive counterattack. The Lunkers have arrived and they annihilate the planetary. Again, they're not just used defensively, also offensively, as now Clem, he's in a lot of trouble. Dark, despite being up against the ropes, now with lurkers, he can play the game. He can fight back. 28 SCVs go down. And Dark cripples the economy of the Terran. He made it. It was a big gambit. It was a gamble to try to rush into lurker tech like this to recover, and it worked. It did end up working here for Dark. It always does. As Clem is setting up Doom Drop to go into the main base, there are Queens in position. Again, to be critical of Clem, despite having so much freedom, Clem failed to take up into Ghost fast enough. He had the opportunity to, but he didn't. Without Ghosts, without Liberators, he just did not have a good answer to these lurkers. Did blindside him. Now he does. Now he does have a decent Ghost count. But now it's going to be Clem who's stuck on 3 bases. And now Dark can remax. He's working on 3-3. Gathering energy on his Vipers. A good opportunity to come back here is to take the gold. But Dark has eyes on the gold base. Oh my god, he has eyes on every base. Now, what I will say though is that Clem, or a defensive Terran player, is a difficult player to break. Clem, he's got a solid defensive line of tanks, sensor towers, SimCity, turrets. It is not going to be easy to push into this. Now, Vipers will help. And here we go, the Vipers, they lead the charge. They do end up yoinking 2 of those tanks. Will go down. That is going to be creating an opening. Vipers, they come back in. They get another 2 tanks as well. So 4 tanks go down in total. And we are making our way towards the natural. At the same time, Clem, he knows he can't push in. He knows he cannot break this, so he goes for a big counterattack. The Ghosts are doing well for themselves. And what do we have at home to defend? Uh-oh. Dark, what do we have? We have some lone Hydras, no defensive lurkers. Uh-oh. And Clem, he takes down the 5th base. He's attempting to push into the natural, but we have reinforcements. We have Ling Hydra to defend, and Dark does turn around. He will clean this up. And a bold move from Clem. Dark, he only left a handful of lurkers across the map. He's coming in to harass. The lone lurker harass. No, the medevacs are getting caught out. GG gets called, and Dark is able to come back from behind over the rest of the world. Meanwhile, the world is relying on Clem. If Clem takes this game, Dark will fall. He will be eliminated. But Team Korea still have another player. They still have Hero ready to come out. Hero has yet to be fielded, as this is a Team League match between Korea and the world. And Korea, they still have 1 player left behind this. So this is also a battle of stamina as well. If Clem can beat Dark here, he still has another player and another best of 5 to go through. Oh boy. We'll see if he can. We'll see if Clem can give us another series. As a caster, I'm greedy. You know, I want some more games, Papi. I would love another best of 5, but it's not up to me. If I remember correctly, going Mass Cyclone. But mech makes a lot of sense because you get free 4 bases. Your third and your fourth base are essentially free on this map, so there's no reason not to just take advantage of that and go into mech, and Clem is one of those few Terran players that is willing to embrace mech. Likewise, behind this, Dark is actually mining through those mineral patches, and something that we saw Skillus do a couple of weeks ago, which I thought was genius. Skillus, he took his fourth base on this map as the gold. And you can do that if you do mine through those minerals and if you do work through those rocks on the right hand side. You can take that gold base really early on. So I wonder if Dark wants to do that. He only mines 1 mineral patch though, so I think he's going to take the fourth as the linear fourth instead, not the gold. But like that's a possibility here for the Zerg, or for anyone really, for even the Terran. As we throw down additional factories, Cyclone Thrust Me is on the way. What's it called? Hurricane Thrusters, that's it. Cyclone production well underway here for Clem. Likewise, Dark throws down a Roach Warren. Dark hasn't scouted. Neither player has really scouted their opposing, their opponent, which means Dark, if he wanted to, he could have gone into Mutas, but he's committing here to Roach play 1-1. As we can see here, he's very limited scouting information. I don't like that Dark is working on Carapace. If he had realized what was happening, we should be seeing +1 range instead, as yeah, we're just pointing out, the observer's pointing out that Dark doesn't know it's mech yet. He doesn't know. It's a logical conclusion that you can arrive to, but Dark, he hasn't quite pieced it together. I say a conclusion. It's a guess. It's a guess that you can make that Clem would be playing mech, but Dark, he isn't really taking that into account. He hasn't confirmed either. Roaches are on the way. Creep is being spread. And yeah, we're just getting into this kind of like a no-rush 10-minute situation. Hellions reveal themselves, so Dark knows it's at least a 1-1-1 variation. Probably 3cc 1-1-1 for all he knows. See Fortune in the chat. Based on their faces, Dark is winning. It's all about the face, Papi. Depending on what face you make, we know if you're enjoying yourself or if you're having a hard time. True. Show us your StarCraft face. As we're still amassing Cyclones, and we've only revealed 1, but we are floating the racks, which is suspect. 1 Cyclone isn't to tell that it's mech, because we've seen Clem play Cyclone openers into Bio this series. So he's still just hiding his hand, not showing his final form. Goes for a scan, gets eyes on the Bailey Nest and the Spire as well. Clem knows, and now we're pushing out. Before the Mutas hit the field, Mass Cyclone is coming your way. Oh boy. Here we go. Scans are going to be thrown down. The army has been revealed. Dark, can he deal with this? He's amassing Lings as we speak. Roaches as well. We do see Dark getting ready for a full surround, but here comes another surround behind it. Who sandwiches who here? As Dark gets caught out, a lot of Roaches are going to be going down as well. The Lings, though, they close the distance, and without Hellions, these things are going to town on these Cyclones. Do you see a scan ahead of time? Clem does back off, but he doesn't get the value that he wanted. Behind this, he's making tanks, so Clem, he's fortifying himself back at home. He's working on a 4th CC. Clem is not all in, but he cannot afford to lose this army. This is most of what he has. I just love that 1 tumor towards the south. You can see it on the minimap, but Dark, he's slowly taking control of the southern portion of the map with that creep. 2 more factories are thrown down. The Spire is done, but it got scanned earlier, and Dark hasn't committed into any Mutas. Good decision. We have seen Mutas just get deleted. The Mutas, they do not do well against the new Cyclone. The new Cyclone hard counters Mutas so well. So Dark is just going to be committing here to Ling Bane, Roach Ravager. Infestors are on the way. Hive as well. Interesting that Dark actually is still not he's not getting into range upgrades. So because of that, this looks like once the Hive is done, Dark could go into Ultras. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'll be honest, I haven't actually seen the Ultra interact with the new Cyclone too much. So I'm curious how well this is going to work. Assuming that's the direction we go in. Okay, there we go. As we have a 30 red chamber and +1 range does begin. Okay, that makes more sense. We do have range on the way. Just +1 for now, so we're a little bit behind when it comes to the range upgrades, but we can see that essentially because of the loss of all those Cyclones, Clem, he's transitioning into a more tank-heavy composition, a more traditional mech composition, so he has more of a backbone to this army. Again, not pure Cyclone, now with a lot of tanks. Go. Hurricane Thruster Jutsu. As the Lings do catch some of these Cyclones already. Bit of miscontrol there from Clem. Got caught out of position. Big blow to his army already. Gonna rotate around instead. Greater Spires on the way. Show us the Fungals. Oh, catching some of those Cyclones as well. The tanks are in position and they get some big volleys off here on the army. Here we go, Clem pushing further. Slowly leapfrogging with said tanks. Without Vipers, I don't know if Dark can defend against this, I'll be honest. It's just an insane amount of tanks. But he's pushing into an open field. An open field full of creep. So Dark, he's looking to collapse on this army, looking to surround it. And so far, he does get on top of some of those tanks. 2, 3, 4, 5 tanks go down. Not a bad fight there. Bleeding out mainly Ling Bane. Clem, he does lose a lot of his army and he may have to back off. 6 tanks went down there. And Clem, he backs off, he's working on another base. And he's giving, or Dark now has the freedom, the breathing room to get into Vipers, 3-3, and eventually Broodlords. No Broodlords yet, but we're working on those upgrades. It's just +1 air attack for now. We should be working on +1 Flyer Carapace. Ooh, even a Nidus Worm. Interesting. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate defensive Nidus Worms in this position. Just because bases get really spread out. We could try to be aggressive with it, don't get me wrong, but we'll see how he does make use of said Niduses. Vikings are on the way. Dark rotating around, looking to try to punish this 5th. Can he break through? So far, the tank line looking a little bit too strong. Dark has to respect that as he bleeds out units, he's replacing them with Corruptors, so it looks like he is thinking about those Broodlords. Does want them. As he trades with the Cyclones, a bit of a back and forth here. Yeah, 3 more Cyclones go down. Oh. As we bleed out Roaches, more Corruptors are on the way. Again, Dark looking for that big Broodlord transition. He has plenty of Infestors already. There it is. Broodlords are now on the way. 8 of them. And this isn't the first time where we have to say that Clem isn't ready for them. He has Thors, but against Broodlords in this position, we need Ghosts. We do need mech alongside Ghosts here to deal with this, and we haven't scouted. Clem, he doesn't know what's happening. This isn't the first time. If you remember, I think it was on Site Delta, or even before that, where Dark came out with Ultras, and I think it was on Site Delta with Ultras, and Clem wasn't ready for it. He was not ready for those Ultras. I'm thinking of actually Beyond versus Shin, actually. But the Ghost transition was delayed, and yeah, we do need that here and now. As we do scan the army. Broodlords are looking to push in. Vikings are in position, but so are those Corruptors and the Parasitic Bombs. And there it is, the Power Bombs are thrown down. I'm loving the landing of those Vikings. Really good micro there out of Clem. We have the Nidus Worm into the natural. We can spread creep. We can reinforce. As the Ghost Academy is going to go down. Looks like we did have the Ghost Academy, actually, so he was, in a way, ready for it, but no Ghost production. Tech Labs are still on the way. The Ghost Academy does go down. Ghost Academy now being rebuilt. But yeah, we needed those Tech Labs to actually make those Ghosts, so Clem was working on it, but... just a couple seconds too late. Banelings, they roll on in. 18, 19 SCVs are going to be going down. Oh my god. The economy. The Infestors, the Fungals are within range. The Fungals, they connect with the Vikings. But where are the Corruptors? Where's the anti-air? Uh-oh. Where has the anti-air gone? As these Broodlords are being hunted down one after the other, the Queen's coming to reinforce, and it looks like they missed the transfuse. They missed their transfuses. A big chunk of Broodlords do go down, but now we have Ghosts in production. Now they're on the way. Behind this, we threw down an Ultra Cavern. We're getting out of Broodlords in towards Ultras. Dark has a bank, Clem does not. He's trying to expand towards the right-hand side. And the Broodlords are back. There's only 3 of them. We're not hyper-invested. It's hyper-fixated on Broodlords. I guess that's why we didn't transfuse them, because we didn't want them anymore. Dark trying to transition to a more mobile composition instead. Coming in with those Broodlords once again, catching a free tank. And Dark, he's looking to punish this 5th base of Clem. Or 6th base even. He does arrive. Bailey's going to be rolling in as all the tanks are in position. Oh, but so is the Ling Bane, and we once again get on top of the tank line. 3 tanks go down. Quite get the additional tanks, but regardless, an efficient trade here for Dark, and you can see that Dark, he's just building up a bank. He's working through these rooks. Make sure that Clem is contained to only 5 bases. He's working hard for that sig. Meanwhile, the rooks are being knocked down. Oh, he wants the ghosts. He's gonna get them. Both ghosts go down. Just some very expensive losses here from Clem. He's being spread thin. He's being spread far too thin. Clem's own gold base is being taken here from Dark, and again, Clem has just got a very slow army, very immobile. He can't be active on the map, and the thing with mech here is that once you lose momentum, once you lose a big fight, it's really hard to just wrangle control of the map back in your favor, as we're seeing here. Just Dark, unrelenting. Never really allowing your Clem to re-establish these bases. Oh my god, even Neural! As these Vikings are going to be shut down in a very interesting fashion. Okay, we get the last Viking. As we do pan over towards the right-hand side, the Banelings roll in again. The Planetary is going to go down. Too many Banelings. The Planetary will fall. The tank as well. Kind of plating on the way. We now have access to Ultras if we wanted to head in that direction. We're getting to a more Roach heavy composition instead. Interesting choice. Very interesting. From Dark. Now, Clem, even though he doesn't have a bank, even though he's been taking a lot of hits, he has maxed out. He has been able to afford an army. Now, what this means, though, is that if Clem loses another big fight, he once again will be far behind. Like it'll take him too long to rebuild, and he may just lose then and there. Unless Clem establishes bottom right. Unless he establishes another base. He needs to work on that bank. He needs to be able to afford to trade. At the moment, he can't. And speaking of his economy, we did transition back into Ling Roach Ravager. Pocket base is going to be compromised. We're pushing in towards the natural as well. Tanks are going down. The Ghost should be able to hold the line, though. It's going to be a rough fight here for Dark as he's, bleeds out far too much. But he gets 14 SCVs. The Broodlords do get reset. But now we're remaxing on Ling Ultra. How do I feel? Honestly, I would have preferred maybe even, especially against Thor Ghost, with very light tank commitment here. I wouldn't have been opposed to even like Ling Hydra at this point, like Ling Hydra Lurker even. But I don't think we have a Lurker yet. Oh god, that's a kill. That's a kill in the CC. I don't think we have a Lurker dead for that. We don't have a Hydra either. So we don't have a tech available for that kind of army composition. We're working on Broodlord upgrades once again. Now, if this Thor count ever gets thinned out, then we... Oh god, it's the Infestus. Get the hell out of there. If the Thor count ever gets thinned out, then we can go into Broodlords again. But right now, the Thor count is too high for that, which is why we have a ground army. And because we're going for a ground army, that's why I was kind of hoping for something a little bit different. But Ultras, they have their place. So we're going to try and dive on these Thors. One Thor is going to be going down. We get a second Thor, and we don't get a third. That was not an efficient trade for Dark. But he does break in on the right-hand side. And this makes it worth it. He did have a hard time trading, but... does take down a base. Decent fungals. And we need a better Roach Ravager army here to defend against the ground army. Clem is gaining ground. And Clem, his economy may be in shambles, but his main army is still threatening. He can still take a fight. But he has a lot of creep to work through. Production. we don't need to see. God, I'm shaking my head, Bob. You're shaking my head. But we did get a bit of a close-up there. You can see Clem a little bit upset about the situation. Looks like these bases are being broken. Clem not quite here to save this. Planetary goes down. The mineral line as well. 26 SCVs. Okay, the economy of Clem is in shambles, and yeah, you can see that he is just kind of taking the situation. He knows that he's behind. He knows that it's all about to end. As Dark has 5,000 gas in the bank. 5,000 gas and 3k minerals. Clem knows that things are looking bleak. Things are looking very bleak here for him. And he's all in. It's all or nothing for Clem. He was the last hope for the world. You know, again, Serral fell, Max Pax. Serral couldn't do it, Max Pax couldn't do it. Oliveira, Estrella. They were all knocked out one after the other. It came down to Clem, and he forced the ace match. He went all the way to the ace match here against Dark. And he fought well. Getting into mech, getting into Ghost eventually, but alas, he lost map control too early on. Had a hard time expanding, had a hard time maintaining his economy. And now this is his final army. Stark collapses on this, cleans up the Ghosts. Good spread out of Clem. He's fighting his heart out. But GG gets called, and Dark will take it. GG, well played, Dark, and Team Korea will take down the world. GG, well played. It was a valiant effort. It was a valiant effort from all players involved. It was crazy. It was a great tournament. It was a great tournament that we did have. And there it is. We have our champions. Dark, Maru, Solar, Cure, and Hero. Hero didn't even play. It was a crazy tournament. 10,000k, 10,000 USD on the line to the winners. It was winner take all. So $10,000 split amongst these players. Hero didn't even play. Didn't even have to. But congratulations. Congratulations to our winning team. Very well fought, very well won. Solid matches, solid performances. I recommend the VODs because we had a wild back and forth. It was beautiful. It was a great event. I think what I loved most about this event is that it brought back some of the old rivalries. Korea versus the world used to be a real thing. It was actually called GSL versus the world back in the day. It was actually funded by Blizzard. It was a proper team league, and it was offline, and players were flown into Korea where they would duke it out against the Koreans, and there'd be a stage and everything, and yeah, it was a lot of good fun. And this had very similar vibes. Obviously not offline and not as extravagant, but the quality of players were there. The quality of players were there, and yeah, it was a great event. Great event was had. Just a moment here. I do want to quickly go over some of the matches as well. I want to go over some of the matches as we do quickly switch our scenes over. Bam, here we go from the top, because I know that, again, this event was covered over the course of 3 weeks, and we casted most of it, but I know a lot of people weren't able to watch all of it. We started off with Serral versus Cure, and day one was beautiful. Day one, Serral versus Cure went to the ace match. Cure almost beat him, straight up. He almost straight up beat Serral. It was so close, it was so dynamic, it was an intense best of 5, it went the distance, Serral took it. And then, obviously, Serral's nemesis, his arch enemy, Solar came out, Bobby. Solar came out swinging, and in the same night, it went to the ace match as well. That's what was beautiful about it. It went all the way to the ace match, and in the end, Solar did take it. Solar was the one to eliminate Serral in the end. Hold on, I'm just trying to sort some stuff out. I'm trying to get some music going. Can I get some música? Yeah. In the end, Solar was the one to take down Serral to bring him down. And he wasn't done. Solar, he took down Estrella 3-0 as well in a dominant fashion. And then, this was another highlight moment. The VODs, they're so good. MaxPax came out for the world. But when everything was looking bleak, when the world was in danger, MaxPax came out, and he went to the ace match as well. Solar almost beat MaxPax. It was a very close series. At certain points, I was like, yo, Solar's got this. He's gonna take down another player. MaxPax, he barely clinched it out. He clutched it out against Solar, and then he also 3-0'd Maru. So MaxPax and Solar actually had the same results. Like, MaxPax took down 2 players, Solar took down 2 players, 3-2 and 3-0, 3-2, 3-0. But I think a lot of people praise MaxPax a little bit more because he 3-0'd Maru. He 3-0'd Maru. A dominant performance there between MaxPax and Maru, as MaxPax did take him down 3-0. You could argue that Solar's domination of Serral is more impressive, but it went to the ace match, so it's up to you who you consider the MVP of the event. As I scroll down a little bit further, Dark cleaned it up. Dark, he took down everyone else. MaxPax, Oliveira, and Clem. They could not hold a candle against Dark. He did clean it up, which meant that Hero didn't have to play. Hero did not have to play. Team Korea comes out on top, and maybe next time the world can fight back. For those wondering, this is a little bit of a fun fact, and it's public information, so I'm fine saying it. You may be looking at the lineup from the world, you may be thinking, I feel like we're missing someone. Who are we missing? Raynor. Raynor's missing. Why is he missing? So the day one, the day that he had to play, day one of this event, Raynor was unavailable. And the reason for that was because Raynor was hungover. Raynor, he went out drinking with Roddy the night before, and Raynor could not play in this event because he was hungover from a night of partying. He was a little bit ill and could not make it to the event. So Raynor was replaced by Estrella. Estrella replaced Raynor at the last minute, at the last second. I remember the organizers, they were looking, they were like, where's Raynor? What's going on? And they had to replace him. So shaking man. Could Raynor have made the difference? Maybe. I mean, maybe we would have had, maybe we would have seen like an ace match and we would have forced Hero out as well. It's possible. It is possible. It's possible that we would have had a closer series here if Raynor was involved. But alas, that's not a world we live in. And maybe next time, he can be better set up for this. Shaking my head. Regardless, hope everyone enjoyed themselves as we do wrap up for the night, as we are done for the evening. Thank you, Ducklings, exclamation mark. Exclamation mark socials in the chat, where you can follow us on. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have a Discord server, we have a YouTube channel as well, so you can follow us if you're interested. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. We're going to be heading off for the night, and we're going to be raiding another StarCraft streamer. I'm not too sure who. we will have a look, and yeah, we will find someone. We will find someone to raid. We may actually raid Zombie Grub. We usually raid a smaller streamer. Like Mr. Sad Sack is streaming at the moment. But Zombie Grub is actually in Korea, and I think she's telling some stories about Korea. I think she was at GSL. She's going to GSL this week as well. So, yeah, and she was also casting ESL Asia earlier, casting ESL Asia. So, more than happy to spread some love in that direction. So, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. We will see you guys tomorrow for ESL Open Cup Americas. Until then, enjoy yourself, enjoy your night, enjoy some StarCraft, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. Hasta luego.